Hey, everybody. My name is Dylan over here at Hearth. I am one of our customer success managers. So, when signing up, you guys would have been assigned either to myself or one of my teammates here. And my role is to help you out with, initial onboarding, getting your account set up, and getting you trained up on how best to use everything we offer here at Hearth. And for this video today, I wanted to cover financing from a perspective if you're already using another financing partner and then plan on using Hearth as well in conjunction with that. How best to do it, when to use Hearth as a first look or a second look option, and how best to navigate using two at once. So typically, the reason why people end up using a secondary option is they've been running into denials with their current partner. Maybe they want to have lower credit options for some of their customers that, again, were denied that sit in a lower credit profile. Here at Hearth, we can work with scores down to 550, where, as I'm sure you guys are familiar, with most lenders, anything below 620 is very rare that they're even going to touch it. And another thing is we have 0% options here through credit cards that don't cost a bunch in dealer fees, aren't going to cost you 50% of your profit margins. So another great option for bringing that in and helping close in projects. And another big one is maybe you're looking for an option that provides a soft credit pull first prior to having the customers go through a hard pull just to see what they're qualified for. So Hearth in that case can be a great first look option because if they like what they see, until they choose an option, they're not going to have a hard inquiry on their credit, right? And I love running these ones, especially with people that have already offered financing before, because you see the value of financing, right? I don't need to sell you why you should offer financing to your projects, which is great. But there are a couple things maybe I could share with you since I've been working in this industry for a while. I've shadowed some of our best contractors here in Texas, and I've got a couple things maybe you could avoid in best practices that I've seen them utilize to close thousands and thousands of dollars in projects right through financing. And so the big two for me is one, you want to offer financing to everybody, right? So treat it like something that you're putting on your restaurant menu. Nobody's going to come and order a hamburger from you if you don't have a hamburger on the menu, right? Or at least it would be rare. And the same goes with financing, right? If people don't know you offer financing, it's not on your menu. There's not going to be as many people and hand raisers that say, hey, you know what, I need it, right? So be proactive. Let people know you have financing early in the conversation or in your quoting process just to make it as easy as possible to work with you, right? I can tell you if someone moves forward with check or cash, that's great. If they move forward with financing, that's also great. The money is just as green on both sides. So give yourself the best possibility to close a job. Make it as easy as possible to work with. And the second one is you always want to pitch financing from a monthly perspective, meaning sell the monthly payment. Don't focus in on selling interest rates, right? Pre-qualify someone first, won't affect their credit, and we can play the interest game then, the interest numbers game then. Pitch the monthly payment to build interest. Hey, for a $20,000 job, we might be able to get you $450 a month payments. Let's see what you qualify for, right? Great transition into getting them in front of their market rate options, and they can pick and choose and see if those options are a fit, or if maybe we're going to use our second look option, right? Another vendor that you're offering financing through to see if, maybe something's better on that side. And really, these practices can be implemented regardless of if you're offering Hearth or whatever financing service you're offering. So try and bring this into your pitch and, let me or whichever one of my teammates you're assigned to, let us know if you've seen success with it, right? So pitch it to everybody and bring up the monthly payments, right? And so the next place I'm going to go with this is if you're a part of this and you are going to plan on using Hearth as your first look option, this is what you're going to want to do, right? You're always going to want to let customers know that pre-qualifying and shopping your options through our 17 lenders is not going to affect your credit. It's going to take 2 minutes to pre-qualify. You get options from 17 lenders again. You're going to see market rate options on what you can get and make comparisons from there. And at that point, you're going to have a good spot to make a decision whether Hearth is the route you want to go or if another lending partner might get you a better fit. And with this, you can tell the homeowners, you got to start with the pre-qualification. At least then we know which route we're going, as opposed to going through an option that's going to hard pull and then using Hearth as the secondary option. If your current partner is going to do a hard pull off of the initial pre-qualification, I would suggest falling in this first look bucket where we see what Hearth can offer. If we don't like our options, we can go through the hard pull method with your current partner. The second case would be if you're planning on using Hearth as a second look option, right? You ran into a customer that gets denied. Maybe they have high debt to income ratio or low credit. We're still going to want you to complete the pre-qualification because, again, it's not going to affect their credit. So in this case, I would highly recommend adding a co-borrower in with that customer. With all of our loans, you can apply individually, or of course, you can loop it into a household income if they're married, have a roommate, spouse, family member, whatever the case is, to help loop that income together and bring their approval odds up. And with that, talking about income, is we typically recommend that you're going to want to request a loan size that's about a quarter to a third of what your annual income can verify there, right? Which is why looping in, a second co-borrower at that point, if you step up your income by 50 grand, you're going to step up the amount that you can request by 15 grand, right? So just something to keep in mind there. And another thing to keep in mind too, if you're sending us someone over that was denied due to low credit or high debt to income ratio, right? They're already getting denied from other lenders. With Hearth, we can work with scores down to 550. So we might be able to get them options. But with that, you guys have offered financing before. You know the space. They are going to see higher rates if there's someone that's in a very subprime category of credit profile. But we can still get them options. If someone's in a pinch, they need to pay monthly, they need the work down, the work done now, great. We can at least get you options there. And typically with our lower credit brackets, we do see a longer turnaround time. Those can typically take 5 to 7 days there. So just something to keep in mind in terms of approval and getting the funding in place. And the last thing there is at least this is going to provide an offer to someone that got nothing prior to that. If they decide after looking at these options, rates too high, I want to move forward cash or check with you, great. At least you made it, presented options to them, showed them what you could do. And so one of the last things I want to cover here is where does Hearth come in with this? How do we work? How do we get this in front of the customers? So what I'm going to do on my end is I'm going to share my screen with you guys and show you how we can present this to a customer and how we can get our financing link in front of them. Perfect. So this is a demo dashboard here. If you guys have logged in, you've probably seen something similar for your own Hearth dashboard. And if we want to send this to a customer, what we're going to do is we're going to click our Send New button here. Keep in mind, we do have an app as well where you can do everything that I'm about to show you here. We're going to click Send New, and we're going to go to Offer Financing. From there, it's going to prompt us to add a client in. So we'll click Add a Client. If they're already in your system as a recent client, you can just select them. Or if we need to add a brand new customer, totally fine. We can add a new client here. From there, we're going to put first name, last name, and then we need to get either an email or a phone number so that we can email or text that link over for them to move forward. So once we have that info, we'll click Save. At that point, we're going to click Send to our preferred sending method, right? Ideally, we have both an email and a text. We can shoot it over as an email and a text so that we make sure we have full coverage and they're actually seeing their options. And then at that point, where that's going to take them is to our pre-qualification page, which is going to be right here. This is what that's going to look like for a customer. Again, takes about 2 minutes to fill this out. It's very simple. At this point, your job is done. It's up to the homeowner to plug this information in. They're going to go down the list and fill out the information requested. One of the big ones here is going to be what amount they're looking to get requesting or how much they're requesting, right? So it's saying, I need blank for my project. I like to show this because when you're sending someone down the financing portal, you're going to want them to have a ballpark of what the job's going to cost. Or ideally, they have a quote in hand. They know exactly what the job's going to cost. Then they know to come in and request, hey, the quote that I got was $12,000. I'd like to finance the entirety, so I'm looking for $12,000 in this case, right? At that point, they just need to verify who they are, click Find My Rates, or like I brought up before, add a co-borrower in when applicable. And again, you can see we listed all over. This will not affect your credit score, won't affect your credit score. So that is all they'd have to do at that point. If they're going in just as themselves, you click Find My Rates at that point, and we run it through our lenders and let them know what they're qualified for. And then last thing I'm going to leave you guys with is we actually have a new process that we have over here at Hearth and a new feature. And that's called our concierge service, which is an add-on service where we're going to reach out to all of your homeowners that get to the point of pre-qualifying. We have a team there that is very financing literate, right? That can help walk them through options they may see for the customer or what options in general would be a good fit for them. So if you get to a point where you're like, hey, this sounds great, it's easy to offer, but it's a little too much for me to answer all the questions, or I don't have time to follow up with every customer that's coming through, that is where the concierge team could be a huge help to you. And we have seen huge boosts in approval rates by having someone on our team that can coordinate with the customer, understands what they're going through, and can point them in the right directions there. So if that does interest you, we can, of course, talk about what that add-on process looks like. Of course, you can reach out to myself if I'm your assigned CSM, or if you're with one of my teammates, let them know. They can walk you through what it looks like, what we need to do on our end to get that started, and we'll go from there. Other than that, that's all I have for you all today. I hope this was helpful. And again, if you need something from us on our end, there's always the help center in your dashboard. There's our support team, email and number that you can reach out to. And of course, your assigned CSMs like myself and team members, that'll be there for you every step of the way. So if something comes up, we got your back and we'll all go from there. We're excited to work with you all. Thank you for your time today.